What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to This Week in Esports and Gaming, the show where we talk about the latest and greatest in business happenings for esports, gaming, and creator news. I'm your host, Mark Kai. I might need a haircut. Either way, whatever. We're here for the final week of May, first week of June, kind of in the middle, and let's dive right into it. For our first top 3 story, the LCS Players Association has passed their walkout vote. This has been all over the esports world, the news cycle lately, and 𝗠𝗿𝗑 actually made a pretty good video about it, diving pretty deep into it. That being said, I'll break down what has happened as succinctly as I possibly can. So basically, because esports teams have been having a tough time recently as far as, in League of Legends go, many of them in the LCS requested to remove the mandate on their NACL teams, which is basically the North American Challenger League teams, which are basically the feeder teams or academy teams into the actual LCS. Riot basically said okay and removed that mandate, which meant that the teams wouldn't actually have to field these NACL rosters, which meant many of the players and staff could lose their jobs. And so Riot Games also mentioned that they wouldn't change any of these NACL rules without first contacting or consulting the LCS Players Association, but that really didn't happen. So what did the LCSPA do in response? They basically went on strike. All the players basically refused to show up to the start of the LCS summer season, which is arguably the most important season in the LCS. Riot Games then issued a response that was basically, we hear you, we hear your 5 requests, which revolve around Valorant style promotion, affiliate partnering, salaries of $300,000 per NACL team provided by Riot Games, minimum LCS contracts for players who win the LCS finals, and the 3 to 5 roster continuity rule. And Riot basically said nah to each of those requests and delayed the start of the LCS season by 2 weeks. And they also said that they might cancel the entire LCS season if an agreement isn't met. So basically, once again, 𝗠𝗏𝗑 had some really good takes here, and one of them is that the teams actually have too much power when they first started, or when Riot Games first started the league. So Riot had to bend over a little bit to make the teams happy. Either way, I'm curious to see if Riot and the Players Association end up agreeing on anything. Since time is ticking down on those 2 weeks, we'll continue to stay on top of this as developments unfold for this story. For our second top 3 story, more esports and gaming layoffs. There are quite a few companies here, and while not all of them are truly layoffs, I figured it makes sense to group them together. So let's start here. First, xSET has to let go 2 employees on the content production team, according to James Fudge of the Esports Advocate. The employees were told that the team was being streamlined and would have a leaner budget, so that's xSET. Wisdom Gaming has reportedly let go of 17 of their staff in a round of layoffs, which is the 4th round of cuts by Wisdom in about a year now. Similar to xSET, the former employees were told that this was a cost-cutting measure, with Wisdom struggling at the current moment financially. 2 former employees' alleged mismanagement and poor leadership also contributed to the difficulties from the company as well, according to the Esports Insider. EA might have laid off 2/3 of their Fire Monkey Studios, which is their Melbourne development studio that's responsible for providing live service support for 3 games, which are Real Racing 3, Need for Speed No Limits, and The Sims Free Play. But now they'll only be focusing on The Sims. The portion of the team affected will either be shifted to other projects or laid off, with their GM Joe Donahue being let go earlier in April. FaZe Clan let go 40% of their staff earlier in May, according to Digiday, which meant that up to 80 people could have been affected by these layoffs. FaZe has been having a tough year financially, as many of you know, and they've been in lots of drama lately for, with the OG founders being upset at their current executive team for their takeover. Also, there's that whole Grace Van Dien drama so FaZe is always just in the news, maybe not for the greatest reasons. And then lastly, Nintendo have parted ways with Yasha Hadaji, who's a former general manager of Nintendo's Russia business. He's an interesting character. He's controversial in the past. He was issued an official warning after an outburst where he swore at colleagues on a live stream in 2019. He also apparently formed a side company that legally listed Nintendo's Russia headquarters address as the address for that side company, which is a silly thing to do. But funny enough, this side company, TWIEG, will be the official supplier for repair and warranty for Nintendo products that have already been sold in the Russia market. All in all, this is just a crazy past few weeks for jobs in gaming and esports, and I hope those who are affected can land on their feet. M80 have raised a $3 million seed round. The funds will be used to expand M80's reach across esports content creation and consumer products. They aim to be the world's first Web3-enabled gaming and esports org. What does that mean? I'm not 100% entirely sure, to be honest. M80 wants to unlock new ways for fans to engage with the brand through their innovation arm, M80 Labs, and they will also develop CPG products, digital items, and look into other Web3 innovations. The round was led by Expert Dojo, VT Technology Ventures, and Practical Venture Capital. Given there's so much turmoil in esports with the layoffs I just mentioned and whatnot, M80's raise shines a bit more of a positive light that there's still some hope that VCs are interested in investing into esports. Now, is that the right approach for VCs to invest into esports? Because, once they pull out, then there's no support underneath them. I don't know, but with M80 being around for just a small amount of time, I'm curious to see what type of revenue they hope to pull in. That's a question I'd like to dive a little bit deeper into. They've only been around for a few months, and they currently compete in Valorant, Rocket League, and R6, which is quite impressive. When with Marco Miro at the helm, who's formerly with xSET and Super League Gaming, I'm curious to see where the org continues to grow despite so many other notable orgs falling into tough financial positions. As far as partnerships go, Blinkfire Analytics partnered with RTS, though not much was revealed. I presume Blinkfire will help RTS by providing analytics for their creators and tournaments they are running. Congrats to Jason and Brett for this partnership. GameSquare Holdings partnered with the Swiss health tech startup Vivior. This multi-million-dollar deal will see GameSquare esports teams, talent, and properties work together on the development of new products, content, and other activations for Vivior. Zone Gaming, which is GameSquare's agency, will serve as Vivior's marketing agency of record and advisor. And for reference, Vivior aims to determine the sources of eye strain on an individual basis to help improve habits and health. Paper Rex have partnered with Secret Lab. The Singapore esports org has announced a partnership for a custom-made gaming chair with Secret Lab, like they've done with many of their other previous esports partnerships. This comes after Secret Lab announced a Diablo collaboration as well as a Deadmau5 chair. HyperX have partnered with Arizona State University. They partnered to do a study on biometrics during gaming sessions and find new ways to improve player performance and wellness. HyperX provided all the peripherals for the study, which found that factors such as heart rate, skin conductivity, eye movements, and facial expressions could actually predict tilt about 15 to 20 minutes before it actually occurs. Gaiman Gladiators and Shikenso Analytics continued their partnership. This is a 3-year renewal and will see Shikenso continue to provide Gaiman Gladiators with metrics that can be offered to sponsors. For reference, Gaiman Gladiators generated 5 billion media impressions in 2022 and expect to generate 10 billion in 2023. 𝗠𝗿𝗶 have worked with Samsung for a mobile app for Samsung Galaxy. The new app will be exclusive to Samsung Galaxy owners in Southeast Asia and will provide gaming and esports fans with a range of content including news, videos, interviews, guides, and articles. Essentially, esports content and news will be right there on your phone without having to bookmark a bunch of websites and open them all at the same time. I think I dig it. XSET have partnered with Glitch. Glitch's logo will appear on XSET's esports jerseys and social media channels, with content also coming from XSET's Apex and Valorant teams. XSET will also create on-site activations at an unnamed XSET lifestyle event with Glitch. Energy Esports partnered with the Academy of Art University. The Academy of Art's San Francisco campus will be the home of SF Shock, with the team using their facilities and housing for the future season, as well as hosting watch parties and events on campus. To be honest, this seems like a pretty smart way for NRG to reduce some costs while also pushing their team closer to the collegiate demographic. As far as finance and M&A goes, Disguised Toast has projected around a $1 million loss for his esports venture. Interestingly enough, it seems that he's predicted that there will be zero revenue for the entire year for his team and that there will only be expenses. This is contrary to so many esports orgs that need to stay afloat, but Disguised Toast is essentially pulling all these funds out of his pocket. We'll be curious to see how Disguised and Moist Moguls do as the year progresses. The mobile game developer 𝗶𝗶 have raised $4 million. The round included participation from Bitcraft Ventures, Courtside Ventures, Andover, Goal Ventures, as well as Akin Baby Geff, Affin Butt, and Charles Chapman. The round will be used to expand the player base and data science and creative marketing teams at the company. FlyQuest have acquired CLG's Red teams. Given CLG's situation, FlyQuest have now swooped in to hugely expand their esports rosters by adding in CLG Red teams in Valorant and CSGO. Prior to this, they only had a League of Legends and some Smash players in their esports arsenal. These two rosters have been rebranded as Fly Red and will now be competing in those respective circuits. As far as workforce changes go, Jimmy Barada joins Riot Games in doing business development and partnerships. Jimmy was most recently doing business development with FT Empire and Holodeck Media. He was also on the esports advisory board at UC Irvine. He also spent 6 years as a senior attorney at Grant Genovese and Barata, and he holds a JD from Loyola Law School in Los Angeles. Martin Walfis joins Thunderful Group as the CEO. He has lots of experience in gaming as he spent the last year as an entrepreneur in residence at Behold Ventures. Most notably, he's a senior partner at Nordisk Games and has had senior notable positions with the Swedish games industry as well as founding Planeto. He holds an honorary doctorate in software engineering from Belking Institute of Technology. Rafael Grassetti has joined Netflix as an art director for games. He will be working to build a brand new AAA multi-platform game and original IP with Netflix, and he's spent nearly 10 years at Santa Monica Studio, most recently as the studio art director. He also spent time doing art with PlayStation and BioWare in the past, so he's tons of experience in the space. Congrats to you, Rafael. Mitsuoko Anderson has been promoted to COO at .x Talent. She's been promoted after 2 years with the company now, most recently spending 1.5 years as a head of partnerships, and spent 3 years previously at Code Red Esports and as well overseeing campaigns as well. She holds a master's in global marketing from the University of York. Damian Matthews has been promoted to the COO at Esports Entertainment Group. He actually held this role as well as CFO in the past as well for Esports Entertainment Group, but took a little bit of a break and was on the board of directors most recently. He has a wealth of experience in traditional finance as well with banks and investment companies, and he holds a bachelor's in economics and politics from the University of Bristol. As far as new stuff goes, GeoGuessr is going to host their first Esports World Championship. The GeoGuessr World Cup will take place from October 13th to 14th in Sweden with a prize pool of $50,000. It will feature 24 players from around the world divided into 4 groups of 6, with 2 players dueling against each other in a round-robin format. Racing Prodigy have launched the Prodigy Racing League. The Prodigy Racing League will feature players from iRacing, Streetcar iRacing, R Factor 2, and Race Room for an opportunity to race real cars in the league. The league will run from June through October, with 15 players getting 12 chances to earn a spot at Prodigy Week, and pretty great timing given the Gran Turismo movie coming out soon featuring Jan Martinborough's story. The Italian Taekwondo Federation have launched a national esports team known as 𝗍 National Team. They've named Italian Tekken player Daniel Madonia as their first representative, and they will also collaborate with HG Esports, which is the org that Madonia plays under. Epic Games have changed Fortnite creators' payout methodology. Instead of having them paid out by active users and returning users, it will now be measured by time played in the game, which Epic says will lead to higher payouts for Fortnite map creators. This basically incentivizes more high-quality maps with longer play times instead of just people getting in for maybe a lower quality experience. Rivalry have launched their esports betting app in Ontario. The app has been designed for the Millennial and Gen Z audience, which is 90% of their audience and active user base, and will be available to the residents of Ontario over the age of 19. It will start with esports betting offerings for CSGO, League of Legends, Dota 2, COD Mobile, Free Fire, MLBB, and other traditional sports as well. That's it for this week in esports and gaming. Thank you so much for tuning in. Credit to the authors and brands themselves for the images and information provided. Once again, shout out to the Esports Advocate for all the work they do. If you want to go support them, click the link down below. And as always, everybody, if you could share this with someone that might find this valuable or tag them down below, I'd really appreciate it. Have a great day, everybody.